attract imitators. The man who would become Hurt's biggest rival came out of a neighbourhood on the other side of town called the Bronx River Projects. This was home to a young gang leader who went by the intriguing name of Afrika Bambaataa.
When I first saw Kool Herc, I said, whoa, they playing a lot of records that I have at home. I said, I like them type of beats he's playing. And then when I came with my full system too, once I got, graduated from high school, then I started saying, oh, this is the style of I'm going to be playing, and then some.
Bambaataa's musical experiments were noisy enough to attract attention.
He used to play out the window. I'm riding my bike by this window every day, and I'm hearing, James Brown, all of the good stuff that they ain't playing on the radio. I'm like, okay, I can get with that, because I just wanted to be around that guy.
When Bambaataa became a DJ, he unleashed a new energy into hip-hop. It was an energy that tapped into a frightening force which dominated Bronx life in the 70s, its street gangs. In an era when the Bronx was rife with savage territorial conflict, Bambaataa was already well known in the area as a notorious gang leader.
At that time, we was part of the gang movement, the Black Spades, the Savage Skulls, the 70 Mortals, the Reapers, all those groups who was, controlling the Bronx. And then from my travels and seeing one of my best friends get killed by the police on Pelham Parkway in the Bronx, and seeing how a lot of the brothers and sisters was getting hurt up, that's when I said I had to, try to lead, our organization into another direction.
Bambaataa formed the Zulu Nation, a dedicated following of local hip-hop enthusiasts who organised parties and then put the money they made into community self-help projects.
You gotta understand, you really have to understand that the Zulu Nation had originally been the Black Spades. They were the biggest, most feared gang in the Bronx. I mean, they'd wear these denim jackets with the cut-off sleeves and fur around the collars and Black Spades written across the back. And this was before gangs had a lot of guns, so it was all about getting beat down with these and with sticks and with knives. I mean, it was brutal. And Bambaataa had the inspiration to stop this gang-banging nonsense, stop killing each other, and let's get creative. So he turned one of the most violent street gangs into one of the most influential cultural organizations. His status was literally legendary. When you heard of Afrika Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation, there was a whole section of the Bronx that was under his command.
Well, the name Zulu Nation inspired me when I seen a movie back in the early 60s which featured Michael Caine called Zulu. That movie just stuck with me. It was just, inspirational seeing the people of Africa fighting for what was theirs. I said, one day I'm going to have me a Zulu Nation.
Bambaataa's personal conversion from gang leader to hip-hop DJ set a trend that swept the Bronx. Kids who would previously have joined gangs began channeling their energy into hip-hop, literally taking to the streets with speakers and turntables.
We just went to the nearest light pole and just plugged in and did, and got our juice. And the police used to come by, even though that was illegal, they allowed us to do it, because it contained us. They knew that, as long as a block party going on, that's where everybody